welcome everyone to a Sacred Symbols reading. I'm your host, Desiree DeMars, and it is Thursday, September 21st, 2023, and I'm here in Pacific time in the Northern Hemisphere, preparing to celebrate the autumnal or fall equinox here. Of course, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're into summer. So just keep that in mind when I'm just, speaking about any of the elements or something that may transfer due to directions or locations. So if you're joining me for the invocation, I invite you to close your eyes, slow down, whether you're lying down, sitting down, on a cushion. Just allow yourself to sink more and more deeply with each breath into the present moment wherever you are, hopefully without distraction. And begin to shift gears in your mind about who and where the witness is within you, around you, inside of you. Just take note of anything that stands out or comes forward into your awareness. And then taking note of the sense you have of direction from where you're sitting, so that you are acknowledging that we're creating together a sacred circle from which to do this reading from. I have made an offering on the cloth below, and when I shift the camera to the overhead camera, you will get to see that from a bird's eye view. So let's just imagine that we're settling in deeper and deeper, and in so doing, our tailbone is sinking down into the cushion, into the ground. In fact, a brilliant white light is surrounding you and let's say just bringing you gently with each breath deeper and deeper down, down, down to the center of the earth. And acknowledging that I am presence. I like to use the symbology of I is our intention. A is the attention that we're putting on whatever is welling up from your heart or that you had prior to coming to sitting in this circle. And M is the movement, the flow, the internal hollow movement of the breath and of all things. Everything is moving, everything is in a cycle. And just know that we are flowing with that hollow movement fully and completely. Just allow yourself to surrender to that. And just know that as you awaken to this deep connection, anchoring or grounding to the center of the earth, you are initiating your awareness or a contact with the iron molten core of the earth. And that iron core, as it flows back up through the toroidal field of your I am presence, the central channel within you is activated at the root chakra with the color red, and then orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and white spilling out over. And again, moving with the universal flow of this toroidal field. And for a moment, just acknowledging the emotions connected to these chakras or energy centers: joy, peace, and strength, courage, humility, gratitude, humility, and divine love. Gratitude, humility, and divine love. So just allowing a moment for those to sink in, to synchronize with your feelings or attention, your awareness you had before, I brought this forward, and just knowing that all of our chakras are now open, fully functioning, front and back, balanced and aligned. And this is a perfect point to just take a breath at, is about balance. The equinox is about equal time of day and night. And so we are looking at an emphasis somewhat of what does that mean for us? What is balance? What do we need to find balance if we feel we're out of balance? And then calling in any guidance that you work with, or any guides, angels, and teachers that you feel would bring protection or a sense of return of your power. I like to call in mine. I have a specific guide I use. I call that energy in and I ask for their shield or their field of power and protection, so that what is mine and what is yours is yours. So we have sovereignty here. What is mine, and what is yours. And may you stand in that truth. That truth rests in these fields of joy, peace, and strength, courage, gratitude, humility, and divine love. And now, as you feel this expansion happening in your field on every level through all time and space, let's call in all of the directions: the east, the south, the west, the north, above, below, and the middle. We call upon all of the elements: earth, air, fire, water, ether, plasma, neutrinos, gammas, and all elements yet unknown to man. Come and be with us along with the directions. Sit beside us. Feel your presence. Integrate this sense of knowing and understanding from these perspectives as we create a sacred circle for the reading, this equinox or autumnal reading. And taking a deep breath when you need to. In fact, taking a breath or two in through the nose, holding, and then exhaling. After you hold a few seconds, will activate the vagus nerve. Just allow you to be even more deeply attuned or aware to your surroundings and what is happening here during the reading. And then calling in all of your guides, angels, teachers, the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, the magical and the mystical, the two-legged, the four-legged, the many-legged, the winged ones, the finned ones, and the creepy crawlers. Come and be with us. Come and be with us. Sit beside us as we ask for guidance from our heart in this beautiful sense of sacred creation or co-creation with the powers that be. And then calling in all of our ancestors, those who've gone before us, lived a good life and transcended and are now here working on our behalf. Come and be with us. Come and be with us in this beautiful and simple reading here today. May we receive some nuggets or golden essence of wisdom, guidance, and understanding. Come and be with us. Teach us about balance. Teach us about how to stay in balance, how to come back in balance, and what that means to be in flow and to find balance through movement. Since we know nothing is standing still. If it is, it's just for a brief pause, right? If you want to just imagine that yin and yang or yin and yang is constantly, it's that wheel of life, wheel of motion turning. As one fades, the other comes into focus. And we thank all of the ancestors, even though we may not have known their names. May they be present with us here today. As I like to say, to all those whose names we do not know, but whose blood runs through our veins, come and be with us, that we may find balance for our entire ancestral lineage. You can make this a healing of ancestral lineages through all time and space if you want, if that is your intention. Past, present, and future. Let it be so. And may all the benefits that we received here today not only benefit us, but benefit all those we come in contact with. Again, through all time and space. In full faith, so be it. Aho. And then, my friends, I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths, blow into the basket your intention along with me. You may also want to just hold in your present awareness that the powers that be, your spirit guides, are helping you to release anything that no longer serves you as you move forward into this deeper place of balance and understanding. Okay, here we go. I wanted to just draw attention to the center point, the triangle here, and that we do have some items really centralized this time. And thinking again about what we spoke of earlier with equilibrium or balance, let's just also keep in mind we've got this square and then we've got the diamond within it. And if we're focusing on those areas, we can see just right here at the edge of the reading is the intention. And it's opening up into this area up here, or I can almost see like a spiral kind of coming out of here. So that key area, this piece of coral that represents your intention, is opening toward the this piece, the nautilus, which is all about emotions. It's about water, the watery element or aspects of the self or of the material world, the element of water. So there's something powerful about the emotions right now. We know that it's key to our beliefs, our feelings, our connection to how we create our reality. So being in tune with that, because there's something about the emotions here. It's saying that there's medicine there, right? There's this aspect of protection, which is dragon's blood. So we've got this idea of like detoxification. I know if you look at my website and check out my news posts, the last couple of months have been about water. And there are some incredible interviews there that give you insight about the latest findings about water from every perspective imaginable, right? And it's not just what we, at one point in time, believed to be true about it. So there's so many more deeper layers about water. So there's something about seeing the future, going into the emotions, seeing the future. It's like Eagle Condor is here resting on one of the ancestors, an ancient ancestor on your father's side, the ancient ones. It's like the ancient ones knew the crown chakras here, the element of earth. They were really grounded in the earth. And so they were highly intuitive. They had to be actually for survival. And then we've got an ancestor here, which is the grandfather on your father's side, your father's father. So here he is perched on that ancestor, looking toward the emotions. And this idea here, this is the planet, this is Pluto. So huge earth changes, right? All about Plutonian shifts that are things that are out of your control. It's a little off the screen. I'm going to put it right down there, but that was what is touching the tip of this. I don't have a lot of flexibility in moving this today, so bear with me. So here we have, interestingly enough, on the other side of emotions, dragon's blood as medicine, the collective. It's something we're going through collectively. It's not just individual, even though in order to affect the collective, we obviously must be working on the individual aspects of ourselves. So we do that on a frequency level because that's how we tap into the great mystery. These great mysteries, they're kind of hidden, and it might feel that way a lot lately because a lot of the truth is being hidden. We're seeing how much truth is being hidden from us constantly through the debacles in politics, in our social networks, our social caretaking systems. Oops, maybe I can shift this a little. Bear with me. I'll pull it down a bit, try to equal it out. And so, yeah, with this adjustment here, let me shift that just a little more again. I just didn't want the light to be glaring in your eyes, but if you're looking at this, then you can see now where I'm picking up on this Plutonian kind of shift. And so just trying to stay again within this spiral here at the very center, we've got both great grand ones, the greats and the great greats and the great 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 greats. All your great grandparents are here. In fact, this, let me be sure. Yeah, this is you. This represents you or me as the individual. And we're facing down too. So it's about it's just emphasizing how much of an inside job this is. Here's Venus. What is truth, love, beauty, abundance? How are you connecting to your star nations, your true family, your family of frequency, your energy family, your great, 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 greats, right? Even beyond the greats, right? This source energy, source family. And here is a 5. So again, we're talking about movement. Jupiter, the key is resting on Jupiter right next to our star nation. So it's all about really an emphasis there, right? Things expanding, things really coming forward around this idea of the key to this cycle that we're in, transformation that you're in, or question that you're holding, is so much of it is about movement forward, forward and back, right? Because our star nations, our source is in the past, our present is the future, but that is the key to moving forward. And I say that because at the beginning here, we saw how the inquiry was about, really using the support of an ancestor, ancient ancestors, tapping into our emotions, right? And then Sword of Truth is popping in here at the top, and you can't see this, but here is Mother. The bone that represents Mother is right here, just slightly out of view, and the Sword of Truth. So great ones, Mother, your work. So this idea that I said about this huge emphasis with Jupiter and things expanding, we're looking at what's been locked up is something around work. Is there anything around the work you do in the world? If there is, and whatever that is, and home, and this idea of transformation that's happening, kind of like a shedding of the skin. If you're feeling that, what is kind of hidden from view maybe being a little more tapped into your creativity, or your source, or some source that's much greater than the self or than the physical world. It's all about like maybe expanding it out. What if you dove into it a little bit deeper in order to expand something, just like we would magnify something? You'd put something under the magnifying glass and you're expanding it, you're blowing it up, you're expanding it so that you can see more closely. And the truth is, in order to make these incredible shifts that we're wanting to right now and all going through to understand them more deeply, it would be to magnify them and see what is happening at the source, right? See what is happening at the source. That's where we want to go. And so something here about that idea of source also is about the divine feminine. What is going on within the divine feminine, through the divine feminine? And this idea of two, the co-creation, right? Co-creating. You may be co-creating with a partner, someone that you know, or that may be something you want to do. I know I am looking for a business partner. So here we have community. It's like expanding community, expanding your connection to partnerships, and also taking time for insight. This piece is all about insight, and this is the sun. So here we have the sun. We have the earth, yes, which is definitely being expanded right now. We know with all these solar flares, mass coronal ejections, frequencies are shifting, changing, expanding. So it's important to remember that we need to, again, keep moving forward. Movement is okay. I think sometimes we're kind of brainwashed or told to believe like it's good to just stay where you are, I don't know. For me, I'm a Sag. I have a lot of Sag in my chart. It's like I've got to travel, I've got to move. So whether that's internally or externally, movement is important. And Horus here is saying, move towards this, toward the future. Here's your father. Father with the cross right on him at the center. That's so interesting. This energy kind of coming in from above the crown. Look how cool that looks from a bird's eye view. It looks like just a straight little piece, but here it is, an abalone cross just resting right here on Father. So noticing Father, this idea of time, Mars, I believe, yep. We've got this idea again, an internal kind of clock or something about activation, nudging forward, it's emphasis of movement, moving forward, right? Initiating. Maybe it's time to do some initiatory work shamanically for you. Because it's a way to awaken the mind, right? Open up the mind, open up the Buddha mind, the subconscious, the self-conscious, and the superconscious mind, and also bring us into a place of greater internal power, a return of power, especially in that third chakra, right? That power to create, to move forward, to burst forth, taking the energy from the first and second chakras, bringing it into the third, and then pow, right? Like really moving it forward into manifestation. And you've got the eye of God, the Buddha here. The throat and the third eye are activated, and along with this idea of co-creating. And right dead center, pretty much, along with this idea that I said about, taking time for internal seeking or introspection, insight, is transfiguration. It's like a complete change, like shedding a skin and becoming a whole new creature, a whole new being. And at the heart of that, we've got at center is that divine union with the self, right? The double knot, right? The Celtic knot, the eternity, the eternities of the eternities. And this is like, maybe there's something even about partnering with that part of yourself that is spirit, the divine spirit within the self, right? Having a marriage to the self. I know that's an incredible initiatory experience to do. I did that after a divorce. I had a ceremony on the beach with one of my shamanic teachers for a ceremony of committing to loving myself. And that's been really fascinating now that I'm saying it out loud too and kind of seeing what's evolved from it. It's been a very, it's a very internal, emotional kind of vow, right? An agreement with the self or with the soul. So that is beautiful. That's what's happening at the center, this idea of transfiguration, as in making a promise to the self, to be true to the self, letting the sword of truth come right through. Look at that axis. We've got sword of truth cutting through, and then here we've got the great ones on the mother's side, another line of truth here, right? Of balance. And actually, the reading is pretty balanced in all areas. I mean, there's a little more going on right here, right around the inquiry. But overall, it was a beautifully balanced spread. So with that said, just take those few nuggets of wisdom, look at them in the concept or the context of what your inquiry was personally and this idea of balance. And then, of course, anything else that you brought to the table. So thank you everyone for joining me. I just wanted to make this a short check-in for the autumnal equinox. I hope it brought some kind of insight or wisdom your way about what's going on for you and this whole idea of balance. So to close the circle, I will end with some rattling again, and I invite you just to come back to your center, feel yourself grounded, whole, and creative throughout all space and time. And just acknowledge the beauty, the wisdom, and the understanding that came through this reading for not only yourself, but all those you come in contact with. In full faith, so be it. Aho.